I think the general perception of Phuket in general has increased. We're no longer just Patong.
Everyone's scary and don't want a leasehold,
yes,
right?
Very much. But the products in the market in Phuket were just cookie cutter. It was the same thing over and over and over and over. I think a lot of foreign buyers who have not bought in Thailand, I mean, of course, it was a terrible time for hospitality.
In Phuket, we mainly live in the cash market.
Yes,
so that's the main difference.
I don't believe in guaranteed returns.
All of those rumors, okay, Thai government tomorrow will change everything. How it's happened? How it's so fast? Actually, Phuket is a hot pie for those
markets.
because welcome to Thailand.
Exactly.
What budget I need to have the best product projects? Hey everyone, today we have another podcast in our studio and I'm happy to meet Gareth Jones, right? It's a founder and CEO of QAV Life.
Correct.
As far as I understand your company called, right?
QAV.
I even cannot pronounce it.
I've heard all kinds of pronunciations,
but
it's
most
QAV.
most important is that you know how it's correct, right?
Yes.
And we meet each other first time.
First time.
Yeah, and I'm my pleasure to see you here. Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
And for me, very interesting business because your business is very interesting for me because, you know, like we see big difference between the just real estate developers and IT-driven real estate developers, right?
Correct.
Because of the what I see from the side when classical real estate developer builds the projects, they go in by the very conservative way. You know, square meters.
Correct.
You know, like a lot of units and stuff like this. But IT-driven entrepreneurs start to give more sense to the actual development.
More structure. Yeah.
More structure, more, you know, visionary. And what I see, like, I don't really well know your products, right?
Yes.
But what I see from the site, what I feel, it's all about lifestyle
Correct.
and all about health
Exactly.
part and stuff like. Maybe you can tell us a little bit more about your background.
Absolutely.
And how you managed to do a business here in Thailand.
Yeah, well, that's a funny story. So yeah, I mean, as I mentioned in our chat before, I've been in Thailand for about 14 years now. I moved here for work. I used to work for a Kiwi company, a New Zealand company. I'm from New Zealand. And I've always loved Thailand. I love the culture, I love the country, and actually doing business here too. I quite enjoyed it. So I was appointed group general manager for a research company back in 2011, 2010 for Southeast Asia. So I moved from Sydney over to here and took over the business. I was then, after about 6 years in that business, I was poached by Thanyapura.
Okay.
So the health and sports resort.
My daughter actually studied in UWC.
In UWC, yeah.
Yeah, that's why I'm pretty familiar with that place.
It's a great place. Very, very good place. So I was poached. I moved down there, and that was kind of my first experience working in resorts, hotel, tourism, hospitality.
It was complete by that time, right? Or
Yeah,
it's just
No, fully
yeah.
completed, open for a few years. The owner, a lovely German man, was just looking to commercialize it a bit more. And kind of look to take it international. So I was brought on board originally as CIO. I'd been out of IT for a while. I started life in IT. I moved into management, into research. I worked with some big brands, American Express, Caltex, Samsung, all around the world. So I was brought into Thanyapura to take the business international. During that time, up until 2019, we did successfully take Thanyapura into China. And we had about 5 or 6 other developments underway. And then, of course, the big COVID hits and everything changes. So
is it still that project going on in China for UWC?
Correct. Yes. Yeah.
So
actually, it's in partnership with UWC in Chengdu. Changshu. I always mix them up. So it's in partnership with UWC there as well. A very big development designed to support a kind of like a commercial hub that China was building.
If I remember correct, a couple of years ago, actual brand of UWC got Nobel Prize.
Correct.
Yeah, that's why it's
UWC is an amazing brand.
It's a brand whole world, right?
It's
like
incredible. I loved working with those guys.
And it's great that we have it in Phuket as well.
Exactly.
It's amazing.
Exactly. I think it's probably one of the best schools with the IB curriculum here. So I took them into China. We were setting up the corporate offices. I was supposed to move to Singapore and take over the whole thing. Phuket was supposed to be a short-term thing for me. 2 or 3 years, get the site up and running, take it international. COVID hit. things changed. I actually ended up losing around 70 kilos during that time. So I wouldn't even be able to sit in this chair. I was huge.
Seriously?
So
Wow.
I lost about 70 kilos during COVID and kind of reassessed what I wanted to do in life,
Wow.
basically.
That's an inspiring story.
Thank you. Yeah, it's kind of a little bit where I'm going with the health and sports kind of angle. So, that stuck with me, the scare of COVID in general. And I was offered to instead of move to Singapore, it was moved to China. And I said, okay, that's definitely outside of my new realm of planning. So I left Tanyapura. When I left Tanyapura, I took along some ideas I had but not implemented around systems and technology. So I realized that Tanyapura, Tanyapura had a hotel, medical clinic, food and beverage, sports club, retail shop, spa, all on different systems. Mm-hmm. None of them integrated.
Oh, really?
So in the back of house, you've got 50 accountants on 10 different companies, all banging out spreadsheets, checking manual things. So it just didn't make sense to me as an IT person in general. And so I left Tanyapura and started a company called Digital Ops.
Okay.
And that's still kind of my baby. It's kind of what started a lot of this kind of evolution. Started the company. We got our first client pretty quick, which was a hospital in Bangkok. We developed a hospital information system for them. So for tracking kind of all the bookings and the patients and the payments and all the data. During that period of time, one of my business partners, Tom, he left Tanyapura as well, and he was the head of tennis. So he was coaching at the time. He was doing coaching services, kind of like Grab Taxi.
I see.
So hotels couldn't afford to hire full-time coaches. Coaches couldn't find full-time work, but there was demand both ways. So very, very long story short, brought him into the business. We started kind of sending him out like Grab Taxi. It exploded. We were working with all the top hotels.
It's mainly in Thailand, right?
All in Phuket, actually.
Phuket,
Only
okay.
in Phuket for the tennis side.
Okay.
It got very popular. So we decided to build one tennis court. And we said, we'll just build a tennis court. We'll run our operations there. We don't have to pay the court fees. We'll use my booking systems, because that was the whole idea. Tom, you come on board, you use my system, you give me feedback. So
Okay.
he goes out, he goes crazy. Skip forward a little bit of time. We ended up finding the land on Pasak 8, which is just around the corner from here. Gorgeous land, high elevations. Back then it was beautiful trees and mountains.
Yeah.
Now it's all development.
Yeah. Welcome to Phuket.
Welcome to Phuket. And it just kind of snowballed from there. I was searching for a construction company to build the business, to build the academy. Back then it was just one tennis court, actually. And we were just struggling to find a construction company that was open, honest, fair, and would actually obey the laws of Thailand.
Yeah.
So I had people saying, oh, there's a 2-meter setback from the road.
Yeah.
And the construction company's like, don't worry. You can build up to it and just, it's fine. I'm from New Zealand. We're the most compliant country in the world.
Yeah,
I won't
yeah.
even park on yellow lines.
Yeah.
So I said, guys, I can't do that. So anyway, through a mutual friend, I met my other business partner, Rob. And he owns a construction company called Holbrook with a development company called RDPD. He took one look at the place and said, let's partner up. And the rest is history. So
I remember Pasak 8, it was completely, like nothing. Yeah, it was a couple of villas.
Well, it was a couple of villas. And if you
and-
talk to the locals, if you go back far enough, and not that far, people were afraid to go down that road.
Yeah, and even that road was no light back then.
No lights.
The road was completely messed when you drive.
The road was a mess. There was no power.
But of course, back then, many people said, like, why you go to
Why would
Pasak
you go
8?
up there?
Here's the Bank Tower roads and stuff like this.
Correct.
But of course, back then, the land price was pretty good to invest.
Quite
right?
good.
Yeah.
Quite good.
Of course, today the price is almost similar.
Unbelievable.
It's similar to all of the beach land, right?
Basically,
Coastline.
The price right now for these back roads is the same as...
That was one of my questions while I listened to your story, right? Because for me, as a real estate developer, I always make land efficiency, like my understanding of land efficiency. How much is land supposed to cost to build a tennis court? Where is the economy?
Correct.
That's either you have a strategy that you will build something else
That's
afterwards.
exactly it.
And that's because to build only tennis court, I don't know how good entrepreneur you need to be to make money on it.
Correct. So, I mean, again, I was quite fortunate having a bit of experience in the past with these businesses, so I knew a lot of kind of what would come. But the idea when we built the tennis, which is going very well, we've now got 6 courts open. We had our challenges because the elevation of the land, so we're quite high up, but the incline was quite crazy. So we had, again, I'm from New Zealand, so I wanted the right retaining walls.
A lot of retaining. I saw that you use
walls.
Those kind of
the Korean blocks,
right? Like that's called.
So we did the Korean blocks because we can grow the plants down it. We wanted a big green wall.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean.
Plus, around you have a neighbors, which is another challenge.
We've got the neighbors. They've been pretty good.
Yeah.
Neighbors have been good. We try and engage with the community as much as we can.
Mm-hmm.
So, you're absolutely right, and you hit the nail on the head. Efficiency, revenue or profit per square meter, per square wa in Thailand, is important. And the only reason why this concept is working is because we have the tennis as the attraction, and then we have a medical clinic already on site, and we're planning our well-being center, gym, onsen, and then we build a community around it.
It's like a lead magnet.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
One of my old bosses used to say, we're building the beach.
Mm-hmm.
So we're building the reason to come. Main reason for that, no low season.
Yeah.
So we've got covered courts, covered tennis courts, rainproof, heatproof. So I can rent them out all year round.
Yeah.
So if I make my facilities as a profit center, as an independent business, not just an afterthought like a hotel, they've got 2 tennis courts to have their 5-star rating, but they don't maintain them. They're just an afterthought. They're a cost on their books. We flip that around. So what we do with the tennis and the QAV well-being brand in general is to add value for the property sales. And that's really the key part.
I would say that market also help you to what's going on around. It's really great because many people, because of the traffic, they don't want to leave much.
Traffic's crazy.
Don't want to leave much from their own bubble. Like that's a small infrastructure have in the bubble.
Correct.
That's better for everyone.
One of my favorite projects in Phuket is Ban Yamu, the Yamu residences. I lived out there for many years. I loved it because they had the cafe right there. They had the 50-meter pool. It was all enclosed. On the weekends, I didn't have to go anywhere. So I wanted to get a bit of a feel for that as well, but on a much larger scale. They had a tiny gym and no wellness services. So that was, part of the reason as well as having it all in one place. I tried to go to Bud Avenue yesterday. It took me an hour from past 8. It's unbelievable. So
I need to ask my team to bring you this drone, right, Muke?
The drone
to flight. We need to have helicopters.
Pick up the stuff. That's right. I make the helicopter joke myself often.
Yeah.
So that was the whole concept. We wanted. So we've got 2 pieces of land. We've got the 18 rai, approximately 18 rai, with the academy, pool villas and terraces.
18 rai is pretty big.
It's fairly big.
Size, yeah.
It's over 5 plots, and we're lucky with the elevation.
Almost 2 hectares.
Correct. Correct. Yeah, 1,600 square meters per rai. So we have the elevation as well. At the top of our land, on that plot, we're about 65 meters above sea level, which is lovely. I can see the beach, kind of.
And by old regulations, you couldn't build higher than 80 meters, but now we get new one, 140.
Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about that, to be honest.
It was approved a couple of weeks ago.
No, I know, but I'm a big. I like conservation and nature and trees and things. Lord of the Rings.
I think that kind of economy will win in Phuket.
Oh, of course.
Like, looks like
in Thailand in general.
But still, 60 meters is a good.
60 meters is good. Yeah.
Level.
And then we have our second plot, which is about 200 meters up the road, which is roughly the same size, a little bit smaller. And that one also has an amazing elevation. Actually, from the road, you wouldn't even know. You go into the plot and it starts at the top, and you kind of go down. So all the houses have kind of got beautiful mountain views. So the idea behind that was to create, an attraction, not just from a revenue perspective, but from a community perspective. Post-COVID, a lot of people learned that they can work anywhere, they can live anywhere. And that's a lot of people ended up in Phuket for that. But the products in the market in Phuket were just cookie cutter. It was the same thing over and over and over and over. You have these developers where you have, your border walls of the 500, millimeter minimum from the house. You're kind of jammed in these little places, and they're really expensive. So we really wanted to create a high quality construction, Western standards, Australia, New Zealand construction methods, affordable product. So we kept our pricing very, very reasonable on purpose because our long-term business model is from the operations of the rest of the business, the resort. So we're building 2 hotels as well. We have a sports hotel and a 40-room resort.
Sounds good.
So that's our long-term vision. Bring the community in, get it out of the ground, and then expand more residential developments in Phuket and Greater Thailand.
Yeah, but so as far as I understand, your health center already launched, right?
Correct.
Like,
Correct. So one part of it has. So we do have a medical clinic on site right now called Live More. So we do medical.
Is it medical clinic is focused on some special treatments?
Lifestyle
medicine.
So, so it's fully licensed. Thai doctors, fully legal. Again, New Zealand have to be compliant. IV therapies, health checkups, preventative medicine, supplements, peptides, all kinds of stuff like that. So that was our introduction to health on top of our food and beverage. So we've got the Courtside Cafe, which is going quite well. A lot of healthy foods and stuff. So we've got the nutrition, we have the medical, and we have the tennis for sport. And then we're building a 9,000 square meter kind of monster building right opposite our land. It takes up the whole 2 rai, which is on the roof is a Japanese onsen. So we're going for the largest onsen in Thailand. Second floor down is a very large functional fitness gym. So not the gym, like a proper gym, good coaches, yoga room, Pilates room, bar room, spinning room, that kind of stuff. And then on the ground floor is kind of like a healthy retail. So we'll have a really nice, like a healthy restaurant, maybe a Japanese restaurant, retail, sports shop, that kind of stuff to kind of really create, as you said, that kind of community where I don't have to go down to Boat Avenue and get stuck in traffic.
Of course. So, but it's logical thinking because anyway, Phuket become to be hot pie in like on the world map right now. It's we cannot fight with economy because reality, if people want to invest, what's going on after COVID time, like as soon as tourism back, we see that now, like during the like last year, we nearly reached same amount of visitors as been in 2019.
I saw that report.
Its numbers is equal almost
I saw that
a
report.
little bit, but it's incredible how fast economy can recover. Like from the like it's magic that.
Well, I think the Thai government and particularly Phuket's governor did a pretty good job during COVID. I think we had the sandbox.
Yeah.
So tourism kind of continued. I think it was the only country in the world that did that.
Yeah.
So, we didn't experience, of course it was a terrible time for hospitality. Even where I was working, I had to let go of many people. It was heartbreaking. So I think, the recovery of post-COVID has been stronger than most, partly due to the government's efforts. And I think that they did a really good job on that part.
I think that if you speak about any touristic destination, like why it's happened like this, because when people stay in a touristic area, they understand that we have a peak season, high season, low season. And people understand that they can be very flexible. They know that here we have a lot of people, here we have minimum, right? And what's happened during the COVID, people can recover fast. It's like long close season.
Correct.
Happened back then, right? And then recovery was super fast. But most important that you mentioned about the people that planning to move here and live here, because many people recognize that Bangkok, a wonderful city, a lot of opportunities, but lifestyle is quite complicated, right?
Quite different.
Quite different. And then so now today we have 2 types of people: residents, which is intellectual energy. We get much more right now in Phuket than before. We've been a more village style.
Correct.
Today we have.
I see that too. Yeah.
So we have more. Even if you look at the IT industry, like how many products coming around.
Absolutely,
and stuff like this. Back then, could someone believe that you can buy property in iPad, iPhone,
it's crazy, right?
And stuff like this? Yeah. So then, of course, with all of those faith, a lot of investment money coming in.
Yes.
So for you, do you do some funding, or you build everything on your own? Or?
So at this point, right now, we're completely self-funded. We are looking for investment in general, but the model that we have right now is a kind of a bootstrap approach.
Okay.
So we are fortunate because we have the revenue streams from the property sales, which we reinvest into the project.
Okay.
But being self-funded gives us a lot of flexibility to kind of change the ship as needed. We've redesigned our resort and pool villas a couple of times to meet the needs of kind of the buyers that have been coming in.
Actually, I never seen the project in Thailand that was not redesigned after
I'm sure.
after the first
Yes.
like after the first concept. It can be revised.
Yes.
At least one time, but usually even few.
I think we're on our fourth revision.
Yeah, that sounds logical because every developer want to do their project better.
Correct.
You know, like, and sometimes you cannot see when it's just MVP, what you need to, and actually market change, you know.
Yeah, that's right. Well, that's for us what we did. So we understood, mid last year, we started to understand really who our buyers were, what they wanted in terms of square meterage, total investment, returns.
Can you make small overview who's your buyer?
Well, so we have two projects, as I mentioned. One of them is the QAV Residences. So that's a freehold property.
Okay. It's a condominium, right?
No, they're all villas. So luxury villas, there's 35 of those.
Okay.
4 types, A, B, C, D.
Okay.
They range from 3 bedrooms, 350-ish square meters, up to 5 plus 2 bedrooms, 900 square meters.
So freehold, you mean the foreigners can buy through the juristic person to the company, right?
Correct. Yeah, they can do that. Or probably the more preferred method would be offering a perpetual lease.
Okay.
So we can then put it into the buyer's name directly.
Okay.
We hold the land, so we can guarantee that lease forever.
Actually, the second model is more, sustainable today with
it is more sustainable, but it's interesting because when a buyer comes to me and asks, "What have you got?" I flip it around and say, "What are you looking for?" Because if you're looking for an investment property that you want to live in sometimes, that's one thing. But if you're looking to just rent it out, or you're putting it into a rental pool or some kind of yield program, you need to be aware of how you can get that money out of Thailand, or if you even want to. So, you got withholding tax can vary between 3 to 15%, which is massive. And
do you know, like, it's comparing to what? Comparing to which place, right?
Well, that's true. But what I mean by that is, if I've got an investor who's coming in and he wants to spend some time in Thailand and he's got his own business, I would encourage them to set up a company here, bring your support staff here, hire your ties. There's great people in Phuket in general. Yeah. And then hold your investments under that. There you got 3%. Okay. So, but if someone's coming in and they're living in Singapore, okay, you want to own it directly.
Yeah, it's interesting because, like, it's always will be changes because what we see right now is that, like 10 years ago, everyone's scary and don't want to leasehold, right?
Yes, very much.
Today is situation totally different. Today is that people don't want to have freehold. People want to have lease because I believe that trust, because all of those rumors, Thai government tomorrow will change everything and you will lose everything. It's a lot of populism, I would say, because in reality, if you look for the track for Thailand, always open for investment from the other countries.
Correct.
And when you hear any stories where the disputes for some property situations, usually it's happened because of the not professional people deal with not professional people.
Exactly.
Some people been, don't make proper due diligence, or they work with not really.
So normally you're right. It's the owner of the land in a dispute with the lease of the land. Yeah. It's nothing to do with the government. The laws don't just randomly change. I believe
that the market's supposed to create some kind of balanced system, but not the government. Government give us the rules,
set of guidelines. That's right.
Guidelines. We just need to understand how to work with these guidelines. And of course, what we see for the past time, if you heard that Phuket become to be kind of test area, that they want to put Bitcoin as a legal payment method, right, and stuff like this. I believe that something incredible happened during the past few years, which is most of the people not how it's happened, how it's so fast, because all of this wave of the tourists, of the people who want to move here, who want to make business here. I think the people in Bangkok, they look and say,
they can learn something from it.
That's really how you can gain international investments. Give the set of rules and people will do it.
I mean, part of that is a really good point when you talk about leasehold, because there's been some news around the government exploring the option of the 90-year
90 years, someone tell 50. So
Correct.
there is a different, but in reality, whenever, even if it's a 30 years, it's pretty reasonable period of time.
Correct.
But as soon as it will be up to 50
Yes.
years, so then I think there's no discussion anymore
Exactly.
about this.
Correct.
As soon as plan departments can clearly put all of the names in the show notes,
Then it's law at that point.
then it's a discussion is done.
And you know, that's a really good point, because I think a lot of foreign buyers who have not bought in Thailand don't quite understand. You know, you've got these land titles, right? The Chinote. And in terms of Thai law, it's probably one of the strongest things.
Yeah.
So once your name's on that, whether you're long-term leased it or you purchase the land, that's it. And I think there's a little bit of people being scared about, you know, oh, what if the owner changes his mind, or what if the government changes the rules? The Chinote's law. I mean,
it's very strong.
It's very strong.
Yeah.
And it's funny, because my first time going down to the land office, I didn't realize it's literally a piece of paper. They put it in a special typewriter and they type your name onto the back, and it goes into a special room.
Yeah.
So it's solid.
And also, what people, if you look deeper, right, what people cannot see and sometimes blame the governments that they cannot make road wider and stuff like this.
Yes.
Actually, because of this reason.
Yeah, because they can't take the land back.
How you can take the land from
That's
someone
right.
who owns that land?
Correct.
You know, like
correct.
it's completely not.
Doesn't
You know, like
make no
it's
sense, yeah.
it's not makes sense. And in the end of the day, of course, government follow it. You
Yes.
know, like that's how
Exactly.
even I see it. And also, of course, we really want to have the Phuket beautiful island as it's always been, right? But in the end of the day, when people buy in the land, even when we speak about cost efficiency
Yes.
and stuff like this, square meter efficiency, call it whenever, right? In the end of the day, if the government give you the rules for developing there,
Yes.
so you have full right. That's why we need to just think how island will transform and
Yeah.
how developers will think about eco-friendly,
Correct.
you know, like
Correct.
all of the different sustainable
good
technologies
point.
and stuff like this,
Yeah.
you know. But if we speak about legal, it's a lot of, you know, like discussion in the social media.
Yes.
But in reality, if you look deeper, you know, like everything is by the law.
Correct.
You know, like
Correct.
Phuket is it's transforming according to regulations,
Correct.
right? And
Correct.
regulations allow it to do it. That's why when people don't understand why it's happened, it's
Yes.
better to go to some companies or some
Get the right
consulting
advice.
to get right advice and to
correct.
see from different perspectives.
It's critical. It's
That's
critical.
what my team doing. Always try to explain to people more deeper,
Yes.
right? And consult them. And
Yes.
with those vision, in future, people can build more sustainable business.
Yes.
They can make more right strategy, not like in touristic place where
Correct.
people don't understand stuff like this. That's why very important. If you want to get real advice, go to the companies who can give you all of the full overview and give you a right to choose what is important for you. Not only follow what everyone do.
Exactly. And I can't stress that enough. So taking a step back to your question around the lease versus freehold. So, you know, I've talked about our freehold land, which is kind of common.
Yeah.
But I like that you went down the path of this change towards the sentiment of leasehold, because we took a bit of a gamble, and I had more than one person tell me this wasn't going to work. So on our 18 rai I mentioned, right? So we have our 19 pool villas, we have 8 terraced homes. We're building the 40 key kind of 5-star resort. We already have the tennis, the medical clinic, and then we're building a 98 key sports hotel and a wellbeing center. So a lot going on that land. Financially, it didn't make sense to buy the land and sit on it. Huge upfront cost. So I'm talking as a business owner and a developer, large upfront cost. What we did is we went down the path of the lease option, offering lease to our buyers as the only option. And the reason we did that is because we're confident that we're able to get the returns we need for the property investor. They can live there too, but most are investments, to make a return back well within that 30-year time. So to your question a bit before about kind of who's buying and who's coming, on our pool villa project, on the leasehold project, it's almost exclusively expats who live in Singapore, Hong Kong, or Malaysia, who are looking for somewhere else to live, basically. They are, I've got buyers from the Netherlands, I've got buyers from UK, I've got buyers from Sweden, Australia, who are expats in those kind of Southeast Asian countries who are coming over, where they're buying leasehold there anyway, Hong Kong.
Actually, Phuket is a hot buy for those people
markets,
because
it's an hour away.
Comparing to per price, you can get for this price
some
apartment in Hong Kong.
The 30 square meter apartment price in Hong Kong,
$1 million, right?
Yeah, over here you're getting a 5-bedroom luxury villa.
Yeah.
So and it's on an island in Phuket. So we discovered that these people, they're still working. They are maybe late 30s to late 40s. And they're thinking a little bit about quality of life and maybe even not retiring early, but retirement plans. So they realize that they can buy a property. Phuket's such a hot destination for travel in general that they can make decent returns. So, okay, I'm going to live in Hong Kong still, 6-8 months a year. I'll come over when I need to use my property. I'll go back. I do that for 5 or 6 years. If the returns are good, my retirement house is almost paid off by the time I'm done. So we discovered that was kind of our key market. They're active, or they want to be active. They want community. Some of them have got young families.
Plus, most of them, in this reason, they also want to have the flexible payment plans because they don't want to do it upfront too much.
Correct.
But they still have time. And
that's the challenge with foreign buyers in Thailand. Is it's very difficult to get lending. If you're a foreign buyer who doesn't live and earn in Thailand, it's impossible.
Yeah.
I'm sure there'll be services out there. There are, but they're predatory. They're very high interest rates. You miss a payment, you lose your house. So I've not seen a positive lender for a foreigner who's not an actual resident of Thailand. So buying from plan can always be a really good option.
Yeah, that's actual point. And of course, when you let's say I'm in my late 30s,
yes.
Almost 40, and I really feel that I very active. I work. I like to work. I like to work hard.
Yep.
But probably it's the next 10 years of my life when I need to
start thinking
about those kind, because I will lose energy. It's
correct.
Normal.
Of course.
Yeah. But that's why. But do I want to invest today millions of dollars? I know how to make from those millions another
something
millions.
Else. Correct.
Right?
Correct.
But do I want to join? Yes, I want, but I want to have the understandable payments.
Yes, correct.
To fit it to my payment estimations.
That's right. That's right.
To my payroll.
Mm-hmm. So that's that's a really, really good point. And I know there's some projects here which have an option for purchasing after construction with some kind of schedules on them. A few developers offer that. And we predominantly focus on buy from plan payment schedules, either on the construction timelines, or we have. I think a few developers do this as well, where you pay up to a certain percentage, and you have 24 to 36 months monthly payments to kind of finish that up, which I think is really good, really good. And also, there's a lot of talk about property bubbles in Phuket, or there was before. It's come down a bit now, but I think when people talk about those bubbles, they don't understand. A bubble in a normal Western country is a lending bubble, not a housing bubble.
Of course.
So they can't service the loans anymore. The banks go, foreclose.
We in Phuket too. It's for all of our viewers, right? It's important. In Phuket, we mainly live in the cash market.
Yes.
So that's
correct.
Main difference. We feel signals of the market right away. Not like when you have a banking credits and stuff like this. That's one of the main difference. And my vision about bubbles, I believe that Phuket market was not created yet. So
I agree. I totally agree.
It's just creation right now, because it's always have to be some good projects, not really good projects. Some successful, some that's what's called market.
Exactly.
Back then it was some kind of monopoly.
Correct. Well, before it was like 2 or 3 developers doing everything.
Yeah. That's why now we're in a magic time.
Well, I think that's important because it keeps the market price honest.
Yeah.
And you go back far enough, and there was only 1 or 2 luxury villa developers down here, and they could charge whatever they wanted.
Of course.
But yeah, back to the bubble thing, and that's exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah.
You know, there's no lending here, so the Phuket bubble is not the kind of, it's not the same term that people understand when they come from external. There's not going to be a long-term lending issue, and then houses can't get finished. It's all cash.
Yeah, and here's you can separate it for 3 different markets. First of all, it's developers market,
Yes.
New development. Second one, it's a completed market,
Yes.
and third market is a rentals market.
Correct,
right?
correct.
It's completely 3 different markets. And what will happen, I believe, in future, that new developments just will take the like projects will be much better than old standards.
Yes.
And projects with a new new things, with a new innovations and
Yes.
stuff like this, they will really take the audience, like
I agree.
both for purchase and for the rentals.
And that's what we're trying to do.
that's what developers need to look at.
I agree.
How to pre-plan that your products have much better, like to give a final person to rent it, like some benefits.
Something to.
Of course, back then it was just in Phuket we have only premier super luxury market.
Yes.
Where the one house stays somewhere on the hill on Millionaire Mile for millions of dollars.
Correct.
We have some resorts and hotels with a premium one, and many mid-class, and
Yes.
then very cheap property,
Yes.
right? Stuff like this. So
Nothing
now,
in between.
now it's new market created. That's why, in terms of if you speak about bubble for the rentals, it still will be not bubble.
No,
It will
no.
be just people will increase their lifestyle, and for same amount of money, they
Correct.
will live
They
in
can
a
get more.
better villas or condos. And
I mean,
stuff like this.
there's no shortage of renters out there right now.
Yeah.
I mean, the rental market is insane at the moment. So, and more and more people are relocating here, as you mentioned. You know, there's a higher skill level of people here now. I think the general perception of Phuket in general has increased. Kind of the greater, we're no longer just Patong.
Yeah.
You know, it's now a greater kind of a healthy, nicer
Right.
nature. There's a lot more offices opening here now. The average community person here is a lot nicer. There's a lot more expats with their families, a lot more international schools. Hospitals.
Actually, big school market is
Big school
right
market,
now.
yeah.
It's many players come on this game.
That's right.
That's why interesting to see this competition. Like I said,
Yeah,
my daughter in UWC, but mainly because of the vision of
Yes.
the company. Because I want my kid to have really wide vision,
International mindset,
to
yeah.
international mindset, to get a lot of different, activities and so on, because life is a game.
Exactly.
And if kids know how to play that game,
It's a great place. It's a
Yeah.
great place to be. Just Phuket in general for kids and education.
yeah, wonderful. So what like if you speak about you have 2 products right
Yep.
now, right? And what's the average pricing? Because of course we will put the link for your product under this video, and we hope that you will give our viewers
We'll have something special.
Something special.
Of
You
course.
can contact us in the link under the video, and my team will connect you to Gareth, right? So what is a price range right now?
Sure.
Like if, let's say, if I'm a buyer, what budget I need to start?
Yep.
Or what budget I need to have the best product in your project? So
I
2 grades.
Understand. So look, I mean, again, it comes back to what I was saying before. Normally, if someone comes to us for a property, I try and understand their requirements first. If we talk pure sale price for now, so we've got our 2 and 3 bedroom pool villas. So those are that's the leasehold. The 2 bedrooms are 195 square meters. The 3 bedrooms are 234 square meters. They were actually nearly 90% sold. There's only 4 of them left. The plot 6 and 7, they're about 16 million baht.
Okay.
Which is just over $500,000 US.
Even less, right?
Yeah, I think a little bit
today.
less now. Yeah. And then our kind of best one that's left on there, right on top of the hill, plot number 19, 3 bedroom, is about 24 million.
24 million.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, on that, we offer a rental pool program.
So you will have your own management company.
So we have our own management company.
It's run like a resort.
It's
right?
run like a resort.
Okay.
So part of those pool villas, we have a 40-room resort as well.
Okay.
So the project would actually be called QAV Resort and Pool Villas.
Okay.
So we run the whole place as a resort. It's golf buggies to get up there, no cars, really chill, lots of landscaping. And we do a rental pool program. So
also, if I'm correct, behind of your new boat avenue lakeside, that's why it will be a lot of new infrastructure.
A lot of new infrastructure.
Then people don't need to go out from their bubble.
And there's the new road just next to us as well. So we have the rental pool program, which is a 60-40 split. So basically, we yield those properties on a nightly basis. We split those profits 60-40. Returns at the moment, at the current phase of pricing, are between 8 to 14% by year 5. And that's on about 50% occupancy. I try to be really conservative.
Okay.
I don't guarantee returns. I don't believe in guaranteed returns. I personally think it's dishonest. Developers who guarantee that. There are some good ones, don't get me wrong, but I think the average is you're normally paying for your guaranteed return. Normally it's built into your price.
Usually one of the main conflict in that it's two different businesses.
Correct.
Construction and the management, you cannot put, as soon as you put it in one economy, it's too much risk even for developers.
That's right.
And plus, who knows that COVID will start? No one can. Like for me, I always try to think, because I also conservative thinking,
yes,
right? But I'm super like innovations and to find a way is this magic, where to find the magic. I always thinking, okay, what's supposed to happen with Phuket? Overdevelopment, it's not a problem.
Yeah.
It's good at its advantage, because as more property we have, as more market for rentals will get the benefits. Of course, it can be some adjustment, but it's not a big problem, I believe. As more projects will be built for next 5 to 10 years, as better for Phuket. It's because infrastructure will come for the property. You know, if you are doing as like if you prevent it and you build infrastructure and then you build the residential property, it's a one way. But usually how it works, when we built Diamond condominium, that road was completely empty. Like there is no one want to go there. You know, like. But when project was built, right? So there's in front there is a straightaway cafe, restaurants, massage, and then beach clubs coming down on the beach and stuff like this.
We had the same thing at the tennis.
It's another way. That's why I not believe. But when you think, okay, what can be failed? Some political scene. Thailand for like last 100 years shows their very smart policy in terms of international conflicts. That's why it's very, very low risk in that sense. And even Thai people, one of the most friendly people all over the world, right? And of course, it's some ecological reason, because still it's our island famous for the beautiful beaches. Despite the fact that a lot of developments, you still can go to the Surin Beach, to Bang Tao Beach, to, let's say, Freedom Beach, even Banana Beach. It's beautiful beaches as a island, as any small island. So Phuket become to be a beautiful paradise island with infrastructure. How many Starbucks right now in Phuket? I cannot calculate, I cannot even imagine, but we in Thailand, that's why I believe that there's two points why it can be issues with the people or investment. But in reality, it's like all over the world have exactly the same issues. But in terms of this, when person walk on the beach, they really feel that they want to own something here. This is
and that's a lot of our buyers.
That's of course, sometimes it's require emotional purchase, which have two sides of the moon, right? But in the end of the day, as we can see, it works here in Thailand.
That's right.
And that's why, welcome to Thailand.
Exactly.
We are happy to see you here. That's why, of course, we need to look how market will go, right? But I believe that your product and other smart developed products that already prevent all of this.
Well, that's kind of where I was going. So, one of my most common questions from a property investor is, what's the guarantee return? And I say, sorry, we don't guarantee returns. And the reason for that is because it's total flexibility over usage. So you buy the pool villa or the terrace, which we'll talk about in a moment. You put it in the rental program. You can take it out at any time. You can use it at any time. within reason, of course. We ask for 180 days notice, but the reality is you'll have access to a booking system, which I built, where you can see the yield of your home, you can block it out, you can send your friends there, you can stay there yourself, no charge. So that's kind of my agreement. I won't guarantee the returns, but you can come and use it at any time. We don't allow short-term rental. We take quite control of that because I want to have control over the community who's coming there, playing tennis, going to the clinic. But what I do say to investors is if you're not happy with the returns, you can do long-term rentals and we take none of it.
Okay.
So there's a little bit of a play in there.
So on this stage, you still believe that still the main buyer is investor mainly, like at this stage?
Well, at this stage, I think there's two kinds of investors. There's someone who only buys property for investment exclusively. Or then there's somebody who has $500,000, maybe they got a bonus, they've been thinking about, they love coming to Thailand already, they already love Phuket, they pay quite a bit of money to stay at hotels, maybe I could buy my holiday home as an investment. So there's kind of two things. I'm a person who likes to invest, or I invest.
Yeah.
So I've turned away more than one investor who's like, I'll only buy, I want 5 units, I want 5% returns, guaranteed for 5 years. I say it's not for you. I'm sorry. I'm building a community. I want the right kind of people to come here, and I want to be realistic with those returns. Now, the returns that we promise, that we forecast, are so strong because we have that attraction all year round. Hopefully, technically, we shouldn't be experiencing a low season. We have the facilities there all year round. So when it's pouring down with rain here, over in the Middle East, it's 50 degrees, searing hot. So they come here. So there's all these kind of these duplicate seasons around the world where people swap. So that was the concept with that. So the pool villas, let's call it around 16-ish million, 17 million baht. We have 8 terraces, which we just launched, brand new, just a couple of days ago. Those are 3-bedroom, or 2+1. So the top floor, it can be reconfigured as a bedroom or a living room or an office. So we really focused on the office people who want to kind of work from Phuket. So the whole top floor is an office with a nice terrace, beautiful views.
Do you have some kind of co-working in your place?
We do. We are planning co-working as well. That'll be a few years away.
Okay.
But yes, definitely. So the terraces are super lovely. We went down the Japandi style of architecture, which is I think Japan and Scandinavian. Those have got a car park as well. So we listened to our buyers that they didn't. Some people didn't like the resort model. They wanted to have an underground car park, protection from the sun. So we did that.
Okay.
8 of those. They're starting at around 14.5 million. 234 square meters. Two master bedrooms with a nice ground floor. I'm a big cook. I love to cook. So the kitchens, all these places are phenomenal. Proper kitchens with wine, gas, the whole thing. These are really livable homes. These are not like average holiday Airbnb where the owners got their stuff stuffed away. So 14.5 to 18.5 million for those, depending on the view and the angle. And then that's our lease options.
If you speak about the most premium products that you have.
Let's go premium.
Yeah, let's go next stage. Yeah.
So we go to luxury.
Okay.
Proper luxury. So as I mentioned before, we have the residences. Those are freehold, 4 types, A, B, C, D. So all our A's are sold. So that's already done. The whole project's about 65% sold right now. If I work from our absolute best product, that's our type D. There's only 2 left. Those are phenomenal. They are 5 plus 2 bedrooms, 2 upstairs wings separately with a big pool in the middle, all facing at the mountains. Quite a nice elevation. Sunrise views. So really quite special. Gym. Inside the house, you get a gym, you get a sauna. One buyer, a lovely guy from Australia, ended up putting a wine cellar under his house. So we do a lot of customizations, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Kids' room, Thai kitchen, Western kitchen, 2 maids' quarters. I mean, it's something pretty special. That is closer to the 70 to 80 million baht range.
Okay.
I think roughly $2 million.
$2 million.
$2.5 million.
Yeah.
In that same vein, we have the Type C, which is the same size of facilities, but just a little bit smaller plot sizes. So we have 4 of those. Those are closer to the sort of the 40, 50 million, a little bit cheaper, 10, 15 million baht cheaper. And then our Type Bs, which is our most popular product, which is our show unit as a Type B, which is open. Those can start at around 30 around 32, 33 million, and they go up depending on the plot size to high 30s, early 40s.
Okay. So if let's say my team want to go to with our customer to you, right?
Yes.
So what absorb in my head, right? So then if people have a budget from 14 million to 80 million,
yes.
If people want to have payment plans,
yes.
right? And people who is very important to have the community around a lot of infrastructure, right? So then that's what settled in my head, and I believe that if you look at the market today, so for people it start to get like more important to buy something like this instead of resort style and so on.
Yeah.
I mean beach side.
Correct.
For most of the people right now, is more important to have proper management.
Yes.
Yes.
That's management's our absolute strong suit.
Yeah.
And down that vein, one thing I didn't mention: anyone who buys one of our properties gets a lifetime membership to the tennis academy, to the well-being, the gym, lifetime for the owner and their residents. So our Type A villas, the 3 bedrooms, we have with 7 of them, 6 of them sold to investors just to rent out. And they bought them because it's so much easier to rent a house when it comes with a lifetime membership to a tennis academy, a gym, an onsen, a medical clinic, food and beverage. Yeah. You get discounts in our hotels. So it's basically like a branded residence. Which was kind of the idea.
Sounds wonderful. But right now, all of the facilities for sport is already launched, right?
So the tennis is launched. That's been running for 2 years now, going very well. The best courts in Thailand. We have the lake hold gel, they're cushioned, we have insulated roofs, very, very good. We have the wellness, so we have part of the wellness going and the cafe restaurants going. Our clubhouse and pro shop should be opening up in the next month or 2. That building's almost finished. And then the greater facilities, the gym, the onsen, we're looking at about a 2-year build time right now.
Okay.
We just got our EIA approved a couple of days ago.
You still need the EIA for those projects.
So that one we do. Yeah, these are big buildings.
Big buildings.
For our residential, we didn't. We just needed IEE, which we got approved. We got that. But EIA was a big one. It took us a while.
Because
there's
always
flooding on Pasag 8.
Yeah.
So that road has got flooding problems on both ends. The water
but right now,
problems.
Looks like a lot of retaining walls coming around.
Correct. So we've got retaining walls and actually runoff retention tanks. So we've built into the ground all around the facility massive 8, 10, 15, 20,000 cubic meter retention tanks for rainwater. And we recycle that back onto the facility.
Okay.
And we also use the groundwater for everything else.
I was surprised because we as a developer always use this rainwater, we always pre-plant those tanks.
I thought it was so strange because, you're in New Zealand. In New Zealand, it's very common to capture your rainwater, put it in a tank, and drink it. Very common.
Yeah. And here, at least, you can use it for the.
For at least you can use it outside.
For the garden.
I wouldn't drink the rainwater here. There's pollution and stuff around.
Yeah.
But for the garden, for sure. In the high season, it gets super hot. There's always droughts and water shortages. You got to pay your money for water tanks. Use your rainwater.
Yeah, it's I believe the Phuket real estate market is still young. In my opinion. And still, competition and all of the new technology is supposed to slowly create this, real competition where the projects have more things for same money. Right?
Yes, correct.
That's why, I'm really happy to hear from you that you're doing those things. Right? It's not only about the money and profit. Right? I ask every of my guests about the future, because this is, in my vision, all of the real estate developers, they're about future.
Yes.
We need today to visualize how it will be in future.
Correct.
How do you see Phuket in 2035, in 10 years?
10 years.
Let's we see everything what's going on around. Let's say in 10 years, where you see the island,
great question.
When everything will be built. Let's say all of your project is built.
Up and done.
Probably you will start to do something else, but it's probably not planned yet. All your competitors or colleagues around will build it too. How do you see lifestyle in Phuket when there will be no land in your area to build?
Personally, for me, I think it's going to become, which it kind of already is, one of the easiest places to live in Asia, for multiple reasons. One thing I like about Phuket already is that you can get anything you want everywhere. So there's plenty of shopping malls, hospitals, schools. The infrastructure is there, that kind of infrastructure. I would hope within that 10-year period, we would have some kind of public transportation. They've been talking about a train for quite a while. The traffic situation is a bit of a challenge, but I know the local government's working on solutions for that, which are like a 10-year timeline. But the biggest thing I see Phuket turning into is a world destination for health, wellness, sports, and well-being. And that's something which the government's been supporting. And I think that needs to be nurtured and pushed a bit more by other developers, because I don't think it's enough to just build a house, personally. Anyone can build a house. That's easy. Anyone can build a condo. But holidays don't always have to be unhealthy. You can have a healthy holiday. You can have a healthy investment home. You can have a healthy lifestyle. You know what I mean? So you can have a healthy office, and it's not just because I'm in this business, but yeah, I firmly believe that Phuket's going to become known as one of the kind of the healthy destinations globally.
Yep, that sounds perfect. I believe that it's a good point to finalize our podcast, right? And is it possible to let's say we can ask our audience how they see Phuket in 2035, right?
Yeah.
And do you want to choose the best comment, and maybe you can give some membership or something from your side?
I can absolutely do that.
So what we will ask our audience to put the comment under, how do you see Phuket in 2035, right? And what you can give for the best comment for our audience?
Best comment, we'll give a 1-month Tennis Academy membership.
Perfect.
And I will also give a free consultation and IV therapy in my clinic.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Guys, please put your comments below. Thank you so much. It was wonderful podcast, and I really enjoyed it. And it's
Likewise.
Super happy to speak with very well educated and smart person.
Thank you.
Guys, subscribe to our channel, and see you soon.